What's up, my name is Ange, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to be going over the 6 books that I read in the month of May. Here I have 4 physical books as well as 2 that I ended up reading on Kindle. Starting off, I read The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This was the book club pick for the month of April. Actually, I finished it in May. We never ended up filming for it, so never really got my full thoughts and feelings on it. But this one follows Aurea, is how I believe that you say her name, who is the adopted human daughter of a Nightborn vampire king. And she navigates a deadly competition called the Kajari, I believe is how you say it, where the winner gets a wish granted by the goddess of death. She forms an uneasy alliance with somebody who is a dangerous and mysterious rival, and they find themselves drawn to each other amidst the brutal violence. Her loyalties and understanding of her home are challenged, and her relationship could be a downfall. I wish that I was able to get a chance to talk to my friends about this one because I definitely had some thoughts on it. This one I ended up rating it 3 stars. I didn't love it. I wasn't emotionally attached to any of the characters, and a good portion of the time I spent confused. I don't know if that was me. I don't know if it was the book. I don't know. Maybe it was all fantasy booked out. I don't know what it was. The ending of it definitely made you need to read the next one. I was shocked that she was something. Is that a way that I could say it without actually spoiling anything? I don't know. I will probably read the next one. I didn't absolutely love it. I didn't hate it. I just felt like I was confused a lot of the time. Like I was kind of just thrown into something, and I think that a lot of that has to do with me because I did talk it over with Cameron, and I think that she really enjoyed it, what I was looking for at the time. But I did just recently finish Throne of Glass when I started reading this, so that might have been it. But I will read the next one. The ending makes you need to read it. The next book that I read was Ghosted by J.M. Darhauer, which was our May book club read. That video will be out. That video is out. Yeah. That video was out 2 weeks from when this one is out, so you can go check that out to get me and my friends' full thoughts and feelings on it. But that book followed a troubled young actor who is Hollywood's newest heartthrob, who is struggling with fame as the star of the latest superhero franchise. There was scandal after scandal, addiction on top of addiction, and a flurry of paparazzi hunt him as he fights to conquer his demons. So based off of how it sounded, I assumed that we were going to be in his point of view, but in reality, we were actually in his ex-lover's point of view. They had like a childhood romance like into their very early 20s, and now he's back. I absolutely love this one. I rated it 4.5-ish stars. So I feel like upon further review, I'd probably go more like the 4.5. When I'm at the time of rating this, it was like immediately after I finished it. I really enjoyed it and I flew through it, but there were tiny things within the book that I wasn't extremely happy with. I'm trying to keep this as non-spoiler as possible. I have to throw it in there because otherwise the review just isn't complete. So if you haven't read Ghosted or don't want a spoiler or whatever, please skip ahead to the next book. But I have to say that knowing that he had an addiction problem and allowing him to be around the daughter so quickly really bothered me, only because like we know that she didn't let him in time and time again. Like all the times that he showed up and he was whatever, that she didn't allow it. But because we never got to see that, I felt some sort of way about it. I also normally don't like kids in books, but I love the kid in this one. All around it was really, really great. It was just a few things that I personally wasn't the biggest fan of, but overall I thought that it was really good and I enjoyed it. I can't believe that this was such like an OG TikTok book that I didn't read it. It took me this long to read it for a book club read, but I'm really happy that I got to talk about this with a few people who were reading it at the same time as me. I thought that that's like it was really nice to be able to hear everyone's thoughts and feelings and know that I wasn't the only one that thinks certain things. So I thought that that one was really, really good. The next book that I read was The Tenant by Freida McFadden. If you don't know, I love Freida McFadden, love those books so much, and this was one of the newer releases. I believe it like just came out, and it is around Blake Porter, who lost his job and faces financial ruin, so he has to take in a roommate to help pay the mortgage on his new, I think it's like a brownstone or something like that, that he can't afford anymore because he just lost this super big job. Strange things begin occurring that lead Blake to suspect her of sabotaging his relationship and his life, ultimately uncovering a long-planned revenge plot. I know that there are a lot of mixed feelings about this one, but I rated it like 3.5 to almost 4 stars. My rating system is probably just so backwards and wrong, because if I flew through the book and it helped like get me out of a slump, or it really like pushed me along or something like that, like automatically like my rating is like above a 4 star. I don't know if I necessarily rate things 5 stars very easily, but 4 stars is definitely like a very easy rating to get for me. So I'd probably rate it like 3.5 to 4. I found it really, really interesting. I thought that it was fast paced, and of course, Frida's twists, they get me every single time. I thought I sort of saw it coming, being as I've read so many of Frida McFadden's books that I'm always like, well, this is the obvious thing, so it's not going to be that. Like, it's not going to be what you think it is. So, based on my prior knowledge of Frida McFadden's books, I know who it's going to be. Which kind of sucks, but at the same time, they're still super, super interesting. And you don't know why the person does it. Like, you can't guess that out of thin air. So, even though I had an idea and basically knew who it was, I was still very, very interested throughout the entire thing. The next book that I read was Promise Me Not by Megan Brandy, and this one follows Peyton, who has lost her first love and is raising her baby boy, and Mason, a college football player who falls for Peyton and is willing to fight for her. It explores the challenges of navigating love and life after tragedy, including her grief and Mason's own past, all while trying to build a future together. This one is the second in the, it's like the Avix Boys, it's something like that, right? The Avix Boys? Yeah, Avix College. Ava's one of those. Say You Swear was the first one. Love Say You Swear. If everyone remembers Say You Swear, I feel like everyone's read that by now. This was the second book, and I was like, I loved that one, so let me pick this one up. Unfortunately, I have to report that I only rated this one 2 stars. Every which way, I did not enjoy this book. I did enjoy the flashbacks part of it a lot more than I enjoyed what was currently happening. I felt like it was very insta-lovey, and I'm not really a fan of that. I didn't think at all that the female main character was interesting. In fact, I actually was very annoyed at her, and it's sad because I loved Mason. So I wish that he got more, and like, that's my opinion. I just didn't love it. I really wanted to. It was kind of weird that Mason kind of jumped in like, hey, I'm his dad, and like, I'll treat him as mine, and like, I was happy for her to have that support after, obviously, you know, it's not a spoiler that her baby's father did pass away, but I didn't enjoy that, and I'm glad that she had all that support around her and this big like found family kind of thing, but I just did not enjoy this book overall, so unfortunately I have to report that. Moving on. The next book that I read was The Dixon Rule by Elle Kennedy, which is book number 2 in the Campus Diaries series. This one follows Diana Dixon, and she has recently moved into her aunt's apartment after her aunt, I believe she passed away, and she's rehearsing for a ballroom dance competition. She's juggling 2 jobs and dealing with an ex-boyfriend who just can't take the hint that it's over. And she still has plenty of time and energy to tell Shane Lindy, her newest neighbor, to screw off. Shane Lindy is just moved into the apartment building. He is basically sleeping his way through the entire cheerleading squad, which Diana does not like at all. And he's a hockey player. So he's just recently got out of a relationship, and that's why he's sleeping his entire way through the cheerleading squad. But what everyone doesn't know is that he's just over it. He is a relationship guy. When he meets Diana, like, he knows her, but when he sees her in the apartment building, she has like Dixon's rules is what I think that they were called. And she has a reluctance to break her rule, but a fake relationship is the perfect solution for her own ex issues, and soon she can't deny that something is sizzling between her and Shane. So I never ended up actually rating this book, I never ended up actually reviewing this book, so it's been so long since I read it, so just bear with me while I try and gather my thoughts. I did rate this one 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it more than The Graham Effect, which was really interesting to me because I loved Garrett Graham, so I expected to love that story, but this one, I did love it, but this one just really, like, got it for me. I loved the chemistry between the characters. I loved Shane. I loved Diana. Like, everything about the story was super, super interesting, and I felt like they had these really complex issues that were approached properly within the story and dealt with properly, and I really just loved how they reacted to it and what they did to fix it and just everything like that. Shane does go through something that hits it right on the head and I can relate to, so I thought that that was really good too, because I could relate. And the way that L. Kennedy wrote his feelings towards the topic felt real and true to me. So I really enjoyed that. Overall, 5 stars. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to pick up the Charlie Method soon. I do have that on my TBR cart. It's actually eyeing me down right now. So I'm excited for that one. But Shane Lindy, amazing. Diana Dixon, amazing. Love everybody. So good. Also, the little crumbs that we get of the off-campus boys and the Briar U boys, I love it. I loved it. I love it. The next generation, like, you did it right. You really did. You did it amazing. And the very last book that I read in the month of May, my long-awaited, I was so happy to get it kind of book, which was Rewind It Back by Liz Tomforty. I love this book. This was the last installment of the Windy City series. This one followed Rio. Does everyone remember Rio? If you have not read about Rio, if you've not read the Windy City series, you literally like have to go do it immediately. Now it's done. So you can read it without having to wait for Rio's book like I did, and so many others, because wow, I wanted a Rio book for just so long, so to finally get it, I was super excited. This one follows Hallie and Rio. It is a childhood, like, friends to lovers to enemies not talking to each other, and then all of a sudden he hires an interior designer? Yeah, an interior designer in a new city where Rio happens to be, and he hires her not knowing that it's her, and then they have to interact with each other and meet again. I absolutely loved Hallie. I absolutely love Rio. Was so excited to finally get his book. Like I said, I can literally talk about him all day, literally. If you don't know me, childhood friends to lovers or friends to lovers or anything of that kind of nature where they have a background and it's not insta-lovey, it just does it for me. I read this so incredibly quickly. I did rate it 5 stars. It's incredible. Loved the characters. I loved things about them, like Rio, everyone assuming that he was just like this player kind of guy, and he's not. And I loved it. I just loved it. And I loved her for him because I feel like she fit him so well. So the characters were just done perfectly. Being able to continue seeing everybody from the original books, like the first ones, was really cool. Seeing how it's just expanded. Rio, one of the girls, like it's so good. Like just so good. So 5 stars all around. Liz Tomforty, you did again. I can't believe Windy City series is over, but we are getting a Monty and that girl's book. What was her name? I can't remember her name. We're getting a book about Monty. Amazing. I'm so excited for that. So it's not technically like over, but like it's over. So I'll probably cry. But then the next series is coming out, which are also sports. Makes sports romance girly. So amazing. So thanks for coming to my very quick wrap up here. I don't really know if we want to do like, should I make my wrap ups be more spoilers, because otherwise I'm just rambling a little bit on like what the book is about and trying to give a review without really reviewing it, because if I review it and there's spoilers, then it's kind of hard to watch them if you haven't read them before. So I really don't know if I want to start switching up my wrap ups to be more like spoilery, or if I should just kind of stick to what has been working. But we'll see. I have a month to figure it out. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you thought about any of these books, plus The Tenant, plus Ghosted. If you read any of them, if you haven't read any of them, I highly recommend some of them. So enjoy. Again, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all next time. Bye!